All right. Anyhow, so this is just random video. And uh I like to do video. I like to do run a channel. I think there's good and bad in the idea, and and I've done channels in the past, mainly one, but I ran it for 6 years or something, and I averaged a lot of videos, and they're very fucking crazy experience running a channel. Very crazy, dude. It was the same format where I just turn on the camera and I just talk. My previous channel though was specifically on a specific subject, and so this channel is different in that sense, where I'm not really specifically focusing on any one thing. Now there's a lot of, I believe there are a lot of negative aspects of running a channel, like narcissistic. And I was talking with a buddy of mine, and we were talking about narcissist people, which narcissism is just another buzz term anymore, that doesn't mean it doesn't have meaning, the term, but now it's such an abused term. But anyways, and he asked me, he's like, where all this narcissism is coming from? Because we're talking about how like more and more people are just shitting the bed and fucking acting crazy. And I'm like, what? I don't know. I was trying to think like what anticipate what is he, where is he going? And then he said social media, and I was like, fucking A. And YouTube is just social media. YouTube is social fucking media. And all these video vlogging platforms, video hosting platforms, it's all social media. And it's true. Social media is what has sparked this explosion of fucking narcissism everywhere. People are just fucking going crazy. They really are. In real life and online, and so whatever. And so there is that side of it, I mean, look at what I'm doing. I'm staring at myself. I'm talking basically to myself while I look at myself. Shit, like, and then what am I talking about? Well, anybody that would do a video in this format that I'm doing, and I think this applies to all video format though, is what am I gonna talk about? What am I gonna be covering on my channel? Well, I'm gonna be talking about what I know, or I believe I know, what I'm experienced in. Like, what do I, right? So that's more about me. What do I know? What can I contribute? So it's all about me. And then I'm looking at myself and I'm talking about myself and my experiences. So it's like very narcissistic in that, you know what I mean? So there's a dark side to doing videos, and it's easy to get lost in all this shit. And then there. So when weighing the pros and cons, like one of the positive things about it is I'm doing something. I'm producing something. And I think there are positives to it, but I could just be fooling myself. And but yeah, like it's similar to playing in bands, and like playing in a band or anything like that is creating and producing something, and then putting it out for people. I think there's healthy aspects to that. Like that's not a bad thing necessarily, And so it's a balancing act, for me. Anyways, and then so I just kind of do videos. I mean, right now, a lot of the times the work that I do is very seasonal, where I'll work a few months and then I'll make enough money to carry me over for 3 months until the next job, kind of thing. And so then I have, a lot of downtime, which, whatever. But like in my circumstances, I live in the desert. So, and during the summer and the hot weather season, there isn't a lot. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to go out in fucking 120-degree weather? To do what? Like, what are you going to do? And so in circumstances like that, like me having a seasonal job, living in the desert, and certain times of the year living in the desert with a seasonal job, I find myself spending a lot of time at home. And, what's better to do, consume or produce? Well, I mean, sometimes it's better to produce, especially when what's available to consume is total fucking garbage. It's like I might as well produce something. Everything is garbage anyway, So these are different, just like views that I have. This is just kind of how I see it when I'm doing videos. And but anyways, I'm gonna be really random with this channel, and it's really not going to be about trying to get information out on stuff. It's just going to be whatever. I'm not taking it serious. I'm taking it less serious than my last channel, even though I didn't really take my last channel seriously. But but it was about a serious subject, and I focused specifically on that, and it was really controversial. And so, and a lot of the reason for the controversy is it's a very political subject or topic. Anything anymore is political now, like, you know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. I mean, I don't necessarily oppose that, but it is really crazy. And there isn't a whole lot that can be done. So just if I were to review what I've been posting, I guess apparently I have fucking I think over 50 videos now, which is ridiculous. But whatever, I don't care. But I'm like all over the place. I will talk about politics or events going on, but then I'll talk about whatever random shit. And the last couple of days I've just been going on to talking about music, and a lot of the shit that's like events going on, taking place in the world. I have my perspective is different than a lot of people's, and it's because I've lived a very different life than your average person has all my life. Like, my life is very different than many, many people. And so because I've lived a very different life, I have a very rare different outlook on things. And there was a line in that Captain America movie, fucking it's so goofy. I mean, it's entertaining kind of, I guess, those stupid movies, but they're really, really cringy and stupid and shit. But there was a line in one of the movies that really, really like struck me, because Captain America, he said that I have trouble finding shared life experience with others. So, it's when you look at the mythos of the fucking Captain America archetype, well, he would have trouble finding shared life experience with other people because he's lived like 300 years, or 200 years or something. Like, he doesn't get old, whereas everyone around him, anybody that he builds a relationship with, they all get old and die, and he just still stays the same age. And so and it was really cool, that aspect of the movie where he starts explaining like what it's like to be him, and he says he admits he has trouble finding shared life experience with others. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, that's a really good, that's how I feel. I have a really hard time finding shared life experience with others because my life has been so fucking different than your average person. And so I'm kind of a recluse, not really recluse or hermit type, but yeah, yes and no. I mean, I have figured out how to find shared life experience with others, like dope fiends and fucking drug addicts and say, even though I don't do drugs anymore, like I do know what that's like. I personally don't really like to get close at all with drug addicts and dope fiends because I've been there. I know what kind of trouble that is. But nonetheless, that is something that I share in common with the dope fiend is I've been there, done that kind of shit. But anyways, yeah. And then that's another thing. I've been abstinent from all drugs and alcohol for fucking 23 years. Show me somebody that has that experience. Can I share that life experience with anyone? Is there anybody? There's just there's so many people that have abstained from drugs and alcohol for 23 years. They're just easy. They're everywhere. Not. So anyways, so why was I talking about that? I don't know. Oh yeah, my views are like way different than a lot of people, and it really is hard to find shared life experience with others. And that's just the way it is. It's okay. I just have to adapt and respond accordingly. But I've got a lot of years practice, so whatever. But yeah, my channel's all over the place. I will talk about politics, but politics is not the be all end all like it is for so many people. I have friends that don't share the same political views as me, and we're still friends, and it's not a big deal. It's just not a big deal. Whereas for some reason, like so many people have such a huge problem with political differences with others. And it used to not be like that. I'm 50 years old, only since 2015 has this become a big fucking issue where if you have differing political views, then people want to kill you, or your family disowns you because you're with the blue team and they're red team, or vice versa. Like it used to not be like that. Like what happened? I don't know. A lot of crazy shit goes on in the world. So my channel, I'm just kind of all over the place. I just talk about nothing and everything. I think my best video right now was was like a few nights ago. When I'm talking about Hurricane Helena, because I really just started going off on exactly how I feel about all that shit, because there's so much hype. People will take an event and turn it into that should be respected, like the Helena hurricane, and they'll just take it and exploit it and rape the fuck out of it and turn it into some hyped up thing where people are spending money and sending money and making money off of it and shit. And it's like, you're making money off of a natural fucking disaster where fucking thousands of people have been displaced and victimized, and now you're gonna turn it into some kind of money making endeavor. Like what the fuck? Whatever. It happens all the time though. This is just common shit. So I'll talk about events, Israel and Hurricane Helena and P. Diddy. But what do they mean to me? Not much, because what's really going on, nobody knows. There's speculation that the whole P. Diddy thing is all just a big illusion to distract people. And the same can be said for whatever's going on in Israel and what's going on with Kamala versus Trump, or whatever. Anything and everything could all just be smoke and mirrors to distract us from what? I don't know. So how does this really affect me personally? Any and all these events supposedly taking place around the world? It doesn't. It really bears little impact on me personally. Like my life doesn't really change all that much.
And so what I'm looking at is what's going on with me, as opposed to, because none of this shit really affects me. Like I'm like looking at, well, what's going on with me? You know, maybe that's what it's all about. Maybe that's what all that stuff is, to distract people from, is what's going on within they themselves. And it is, whether the story is true or not, it's all designed to draw people, you know, make us all indifferent to ourselves and to everyone around us, which you see that more and more every day. So whatever, it's totally out of control. You know, nobody can convince anybody of anything, no matter what it is, no matter how true it is or otherwise, because everybody's like, no, everybody's just fighting and arguing. And there's a line that I reference from a book that I like. It says, you know, look around you. All you see is people breaking off into warring factions, each group saying to the other, we're right and you're wrong. And it's just everywhere. And it's not just factions. It comes down to individual people. Like you see all this infighting going on in these factions of groups of people. They're all fighting amongst each other. Yeah. And that's all you see. Like, and it's all just less brotherhood and more fucking more bickering and fighting. And what good is any of it doing? And it's not doing any good. So what am I doing? Am I participating in that? You know, maybe I ought to look at myself, you know. But nobody wants to talk about self-reflection, you know, and shit like this. Really, you know, it's not real popular or trendy thing. But anyway, so I just ramble on about all kinds of stuff. And, you know, like I said, the last couple of days, I'm just kind of going off about music and everything. And you know, prior to that, I'm talking about events, world events, and just whatever, you know, I don't know. But yeah, going back to doing a channel, I don't know that I would recommend anybody use social media at all. I personally I'm feeling, I want to believe that there is something good that can be had from, you know, doing a channel like the one I'm doing in this format where I just talk and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's purely toxic and all it's doing is feeding more of my narcissism. I don't know if any of you have ever been accused of being a narcissist. It's pretty hilarious. There's a difference between someone who has narcissistic traits, which we all do, and a person who's a full-blown narcissist. And one of the things that's super crazy to witness and even experience is a full-blown narcissist accusing someone else of being a narcissist because everybody has narcissistic traits. Everybody has narcissistic traits. So a full-blown narcissist could easily accuse any one of us of being a narcissist, even though they're the narcissist and we just happen to have narcissistic traits, which is what every human being has. So, and then the other crazy thing about narcissism is how narcissists are just masters of deceit. They're masters at hiding their narcissism. It's so crazy. And then now narcissism has become such a buzz term that nobody even takes it seriously anymore, you know. Because how can you? It's such an abused term. Psychopath is even a way crazier subject than narcissism. Like psychopathy is like, what the fuck? Like full blown, like psychopaths can be misdiagnosed as a narcissist when they're not a narcissist. They're a fucking psychopath with narcissistic traits. And there seems to be a lot of more of that going on as I get older. There's, you know, I don't know why. Maybe people are just emboldened to let it hang out. I don't know what's going on. I have a hard enough time keeping up with what's going on with me than figuring out what's going on with other people and what's going on in the world. So that's my bullshit.